What's going on, Skate fam? It's your boy DJ Arco.
And I am the queen, and you're tuned into Boss Talk.
And today we have some very, very, very special guests with us, like
Mm,
always, because we just love our skate fam out there.
that's right.
So they want to be introduced twice. So we're going to introduce them, and then they're going to introduce themselves.
Right, right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. and Mrs. Batsmoke. Round of applause, round of applause.
Yeah, there we go.
Snap the fingers, y'all. If y'all listening, snap them fingers one good time. All right, so now I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and introduce yourself. There you go.
Well, my name is Mrs. Batsmoke. I am Mr. Batsmoke's wife, and I'm just really honored to be here with you guys today. Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem, no problem.
Giving honor to God, who's the head of my life
Mm-hmm.
or our lives.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
You already know who I am. I'm Josh Smith, aka Batsmoke. 50 Shades Batsmoke.
50,
Ooh,
50
50
shades.
shades.
And he got the shirt on.
Watch it.
There's layers.
Don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
We
See,
wear different masks
now we got to
around
go
here.
down 49 of those. Now what's going on?
That's what we're here for. Shout out to Skaters Connect Radio. Thank you for having us on.
Appreciate it.
We really appreciate the opportunity.
Appreciate it.
And man, skate talk is about to go down.
Yes,
All
sir.
right
Yes,
now.
sir. So we're gonna start off with our signature question for both of you guys, and that is, how long have you been skating? And do you remember when you started?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I've been skating for a little over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember when I started, one of my friends at the time, we went to a birthday party, a skate birthday party, and we did not know how to skate. We didn't have our own skates. And we didn't want to look like the newbies on the floor, with the brownie skates. That's what skaters call them, brownies.
Right,
So
right.
I decided to go buy some skates. And my first pair of skates were actually white.
Mm.
And I went to the skate party. I had such a great time, just from the experience and being mesmerized by people who were there who could actually skate. And it just inspired me to keep going with it. And I started, my home rink is actually Glenwood Roller Rink.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I started over 10 years ago.
Nice.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. I'm about maybe 17 skate years old.
Mm-hmm.
About 17 skate years old. I was a late bloomer. I wasn't one of these 2-year-old skaters born on skates.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things. I started in rollerblades. I know you heard that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Was
You was a blader.
But I used rollerblades for transportation according to where I lived, and that was easy for me to get around the area in which I lived. I lived downtown Chicago for a while, so especially in the summertime, if school was one thing, but in the summertime I would like to go either to different baseball fields or go to different gyms and play ball or parks or different things of that nature. And I would transport myself via rollerblades. So it wasn't until a moment in time where I would go with my mother, and she would run. My mother was a double amputee, so she didn't have any legs. She was a bilateral amputee. So she electric wheelchaired everywhere. So when I was younger, I would ride on the back of the wheelchair. As I was getting older, it was just easier to keep up with her on the blades because she had the high-tech wheelchairs, whatever. So I started rollerblading and just running regular errands around the city with her one day. I was trying to do whatever it is I was trying to do. She was like, you can't do what you want to do in those type of skates. And she went and bought me a pair of Chicago's for Christmas, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Wow.
Good job, Mama.
First place I skated was MLK 76 and Racine, the same place where Maisha held her first classes. That's my home rink. That was my first rink in there, and that's where I spent majority of my time. That was my getaway place. At the time, I had on the Chicago's trying to get with it, and then it's kind of like the community gravitated to me after that. Then getting into the process of learning what to get, how to get it, things of that nature.
So did you guys meet at the skating rink, or was she someone that was in trouble and then Batsmoke came and and
And saved
saved
her.
her. Yeah, swooped in with.
Ooh, you wanna see? We have two different versions of how we met.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well let's let the queen tell her version because that's the only true version anyway.
Okay, you
All right,
better
hold up
say
now.
that.
Hold on. So I remember when I first saw Josh. I was still a new skater. I had been skating maybe a couple of years, and me and my friend, we were at a Friday night Glenwood session, adult only Glenwood session, and it was men's only. And the men like to show out, in front of all the ladies because we're standing on the
You're
side and
supposed to.
this and that. But me and my friend were standing there and we were looking at all the guy skaters, and she pointed out a guy skater that she really liked, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, he can skate so well." But I remember noticing Josh when he got on the floor. I didn't know his name. I didn't know who he was in the skate community, his popularity or anything. And what I really remember is that he loved to skate because he was smiling. And you don't really see that often. People are just so into, trying to get the move right or, just skating and just really focusing. And what made him stand out was that he was actually smiling when he skated. And it looked like he was just having pure fun.
Mm.
And I just love the way he glided across the floor. I'm like, man, I wish I could skate like that. I was like, no, he's cute and he can skate. Who I was. I didn't, approach him afterwards or anything. I just started seeing him around afterwards. And then he, at some point noticed me and noticed who I was, but I saw him first.
So, fellas, let
Aw.
this be a lesson learned. The ladies be on the sideline choosing.
Mhm.
So put your best skate forward.
And your best
That's right.
smile.
And smile, right.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it didn't go that way at all.
Okay. Well, we got to hear what was in the bat mind.
Well, I was in character at the moment. I was. This is an evolution of Batsmoke that you're looking at now, or Batman. It's an evolution because in the beginning, learning this type of community, with us being in our ranks with our different personalities, and I mean that's why we have skate names. When I was in that arena, I'm thinking I'm, tapping into Batman at the moment, and you could do what you wanted to do because I was in my element, in my zone, and I, I don't remember seeing any of that. I don't remember seeing any or noticing any of that. It's just when you see somebody, cute, I try to approach them like any other dude that your cliche typical dude that could skate would slide up on somebody. You know what I mean?
What's up, baby?
Thinking,
What's your
you know,
name? Your number.
hey, I know you seeing me. The mindset in which, especially in our community here in Chicago and the culture here, back in my younger years, when a guy pursued a woman, it wasn't verbal. It wasn't a verbal connection that you tried to have. It was kind of one of those things where I'm skating, I'm looking to see who's looking subconsciously without letting everybody know I see you seeing. So, the little subtle flirting eyes, if you're sitting on the side, I'm gonna do the move close to you. Did you see that? What I was saying? Did you see that? You know what I'm saying? Did I catch you? Type thing. It was just, I don't know. Everything was kind of like downhill from there. So I really didn't notice until, conversation afterwards. I saw you looking, I'd never have the courage to say it.
Yeah.
But he would inadvertently ask me for my phone number. He asked me for my number twice, and I didn't give it.
Oh, she made you put that work in.
Which was amazing because in that era, in that time of the rise, but you could do what you want, how you wanted, to whatever you wanted on some, just how I'm trying to figure out the words. I felt like a celebrity at a specific time because of the, sometimes you get lost in this world and the popularity could get to your head.
Yeah.
You feel like you have, other privileges that certain people don't or didn't. And especially at that time where I think, I approached anybody, I can move anywhere, anyway, however I want it. And all the secret things I used to do to try and get attention, it never worked. So it was kind of like, oh, wait, hold up. I'm like, you do know I'm Batman, right? she's like,
What's that?
what's that? And I was like, and right there, it kind of was like, who are you? I need to know everything about you. Research. Give me your number. I need to call you. It was one of those type things. So
Wow.
I was like I was wearing a mask, and she saw me without it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
you
See,
know.
that's how you know that's the one when they can see through the mask.
Hey man, it's crazy.
You better say
It's
that.
and it's been such a development and a journey trying to figure out not only who you are as a human,
Mhm.
but in in that type of world, the skate world, or in that community, is identity is huge. Identity is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So where did the name Batman come from? You kind of touched on it a little bit.
Oh
How you said
man,
when you're in the rink and you feel like you can do whatever you want. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
get that. So how did it stick?
yeah. Well, just like anything, it's come through evolution through my skate journey from the very beginning. I went through transitions, and I've changed names a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
When in our culture here in Chicago, um, and most others that I've noticed is that either you've already had a nickname that you've had, or in our community, according to our culture in Chicago, your teacher names you, or the OGs or the community gives you a name based on your, you know, personality traits, the way you
Mm-hmm.
skate.
Mm-hmm.
That's why skate names.
Yeah.
And in my particular group that I was going for in this era, you know, they would be the ones to give you your name or your identity, based on what you showed when you were in the rink and your attendance and your work. Hence
Mm-hmm.
why you see all these people with skate names out there. They're not really putting their real names on their shirts. They're putting up whatever their alias is. But in this community, in this culture, so I went through several names. So
So what was the first?
the first one was Baby Hair.
Baby.
Baby
Okay.
Hair was the first
He
name.
still has it.
I'm rough now when I grow it out.
Oh.
Baby Hair was the first name, and of course, younger, coming into the group, I was in that era. It was all about in this community in that era. It was all about getting into a group, your
Mhm.
skate gang, your skate
Yeah.
group. And by me being a Suicide King, which is the group I was going for,
Hmm.
they had the most rigorous process. They were one of the top elite groups here in Chicago.
Mhm.
Footwork, aggressive. They were the bad boys,
Mhm.
Suicide Kings, and we even had a female group of Suicide Queens. It was like
Mhm.
16 of us and 12 of them. We were bullies,
Mhm.
literally.
But your name was Baby Hair.
My name was Baby Hair coming in. I was young. I had a lot of hair, and it was curly like this.
Mhm.
And it was just one of them things because I was the youngest guy
Mhm.
out there trying to get in, fit in. And when I was going through my probation stages, it was Baby Hair. So
Yeah.
the crews had their shirts and they would have their name. And of course, since I was going through the probation process, my shirt was pink. My shirt was pink. My orange, my letters were, bedazzled, and it would say Baby Hair. But the difference was, since we have a world-renowned process of getting in, what I did was, the funny thing is, I had such a large following back then, where I had other girls in the rink wearing Baby Hair shirts.
Ah.
Okay.
So
But did they have
I
that
made it.
edge control?
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know. I don't know. But they gave it a name. It was meant to be a joke, and I decided to own it
Mhm.
and turn people into Baby Hair fans. So
Mhm.
different things. I decided to own it. Most people, when they go through certain hazing processes, like in the NBA, NFL, you got to
Mhm.
carry these
Yeah.
people's bags.
Mhm.
I went through the pom poms. I went through the pink shirt thing, and I wore that. In that time, I wore that as a badge of courage because now, guess what? At the end, when you make it, you go through all of that. You'll be
Mhm.
celebrated. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? I'm able to celebrate myself. Hey, you could try and humiliate me, but I'm going to own whatever it is that you're putting on there. You know, but whatever it is
Yeah.
that you're trying to do,
Right.
and now I'm gonna make it cool. So whatever
Right.
it is, you can't
Lemons into lemonade.
lemons to
Yeah.
lemonade.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Lesson for today.
So are you
Yeah.
still with the
Lemons.
Suicide Kings, or you moved on because now you back, you
Oh yeah.
trans?
So I went to Baby Hair. Then I went to Protege. The
Mhm.
Okay.
Protege.
Mhm.
So the leader of the Suicide Kings, his name was Jay Swab, my first teacher.
Mhm.
Jay Swab was my first teacher, and he was the leader of the Kings. So the process of the Kings are the captain and co-captain. They find prospects. They train them for 6 months, and then at the next big party, the two prospects battle it out, and the winner gets to make SK.
Okay.
So the owner of SK at that time was Suave, and after I made it, I became the protege because I skated like him, great chemistry, things of that nature. The next name after that became Prodigy, because when I finally wound up leaving, or not even leaving SK, when I wound up battling my leader or my teacher, the leader of the group, and I won, then it became Prodigy. After that, it was that day that I actually battled him where Batman was born, where I decided where that entity was created. So I think the night before, it was some type of costume party, and I was an obese Batman. I wore a sumo suit. It was the night after Halloween. Of course, we skate on every holiday for no reason. I decided to be Batman just for that year, but I wanted to be obese Batman, fat man. Ketchup and mustard in my utility belt and all that. And of course, I wore the mask all night, and nobody knew who it was. Who is this fat Batman over here getting down? So I wore the mask on the back of my head the very next night to like the main event party, and that's kind of like how it stuck.
Okay.
Wow. This kind of sounds like that movie with Neo, and they were going through the little snake, and the wolves, and what was that movie? You know
I
what I'm
don't
talking about?
remember the name of it.
That stepping movie, was it like Drumline or something like that?
Yes, how you went through.
Stomp the yard.
Yeah, Stomp the Yard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like Stomp the Skate, or Stomp the Rink.
It was definitely like that, and especially in Chicago in this culture, in that era, it was all about groups, crews. You had Breeze with JB Elite, which was the first crew to ever travel outside of our, first group to travel outside of our city and put JB on the map. Then you had who was next? There was just other crews. It was all about being crews in the culture, in our culture here in Chicago. And you basically were made once you made a crew. So Rough Rider Rollers, or whether it be QB Hot or anything of that nature, you were associated by the crew. And we were real one family, one unit, but it was all about crews.
Wow.
So are you still with the Suicide Kings?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're about 10, 15 years strong. I'm so part of so many different organizations now.
Okay.
That's always going to be the home crew.
That's your home crew.
Yeah.
That's the crew that's from the crib.
They
I've grown up
birthed
with
you.
these guys. Yeah. Those are some close friends. I still hang out with them today. Some of them still skate, some of them don't. We'll come every once in a while. But the beauty, somewhere in my wedding.
Okay.
But anytime we come together, we can run our foundation 8, 9, 6 routines, or top 20 routines, and we can all still do them flawlessly.
So you went from baby hair to Batman.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the United Skates documentary, because you're actually in there. So how did that come about for you? Did they approach you about it, or how did that work?
It was one of those things where you just you kind of get a phone call out of nowhere. And it was I was living through some things in our skate community. I was Batman. I built my brand from going from city to city and taking out whoever the best guy was. And this is before the movie. That's kind of like how I built my name. Whoever the best guy in this city was, I would go there and see, the talent of that guy, and I'd be like, I'm training hard. Let me go at him. So one of the guys that you may know of, Brandon Young, you know what I'm saying? We were at odds early at that one time, and I decided to fly to All Sweat, and I was like, you know what? It's going down. And he was like, you know what? It's going down. So I wound up flying to All Sweat, which was in Virginia, and that night was the same night that Tina and Deanna were in the rink. Their story is they thought Central Park skaters were the last skaters.
Right.
And then they met up with this girl named Miss Pink, and she took them to All Sweat. So I'm going to All Sweat just to skate, have a great time, and then settle a beef. And then I wound up meeting them there. So divine intervention, how paths cross. So I sat down, had a conversation with them, gave them, my number, because they saw this just epic showdown going down at All Sweat. And that's kind of how it snowballed. She wound up calling me. I wound up giving them to Breeze, or no, Breeze got involved, of course, Premier got involved. And then it just kind of slowed. I remember calling Buddy Love at Rich City because I'm thinking they just wanted to film some things. I'm like, Buddy, that's why Rich City meant so much to me, because I remember, having dreams where I would think of a move and I would call Buddy in the middle of the night, bro, I got to put something down, and he will open a rink for me. And it was just one of them things where, you always keep your family members close. So it's like, man, these people, they want to film. I want to come use your rink, and they got to talking. It was crazy. So how it snowballed. So divine intervention is all I can really say. But that's how it snowballed, by going to All Sweat, doing skate things.
Wow. Wow.
So since you said you check out who's out there and you got to settle beefs. So how many kind of, I don't know, tournaments, skate offs, or adrenaline awards? What do you call them? I mean, because you had your own personal beef, but then how many of those did you actually compete in that were like kind of awarded?
What, 20, 30? I don't know. I got to count.
It's a lot.
Okay.
I got five adrenaline awards. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's been a lot for the ones for, not over here, for local, for trophies, money, whatever. There's certain communities that are outside of ours that do skate competitions as well.
Right.
And I would go participate in those. I got trophies and whatnot around there.
Hey.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
Some of them over there. But they're all over the place. But yeah, maybe I'm maybe in the 40s, 30s, 40s. I lost count. Okay. But that's for actual like trophy money type thing. As far as like ciphers, uncountable.
Okay.
So of course, there's a difference between competitions, judges, and something with a criteria. Ciphers are just psychological, warfare between you and other students of the
individual. Right.
Yeah, psychological. So everybody's pressure. In that time, in this time, skating was a lifestyle. It's different for some people that skate for fun versus those of us who decided to make a living off of it.
Right.
I made a living off of it early. I remember going to certain competitions where it would be, 1,000 per category in certain states. We think we're underground culture. There's other subcultures that are even more underground than that.
Right.
Freestyle dance battles for $2,000 a category. Freestyle dance or whatever the case is. So if I go there and I'm the only guy with skates on, or if I go to another dance battle or skate battles, I'll go to dance battles where I'm the skater, and then I'll go to skate battles where everybody skates. And if it's like $1,000 or $2,000, and I would do that all the time, that's what paid the bills.
Yeah.
You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a couple of people in other communities where they would call you and say, hey man, there's a battle in Indianapolis. It's $1,000 on the line. Indianapolis, 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? I would go there, win $1,000, come back, and I'm, within the same day. And there you go. There's your car note.
Yeah.
So, I actually decided to make a living from smacking city to city all over the country, just doing that.
Yeah. It is amazing because in speaking with the various skaters that we've had on here, quite a few of them have actually turned it into a living, and it's amazing what you can do, but you just have to have that determination.
Yeah.
So it's possible to make it lucrative for yourself. You just have to be smart about it,
Absolutely. 1,001%. And I think the difference is that those who haven't, it's easy to say, man, it's just skating. It ain't that serious. Oh man, it's not that serious. Why y'all take it so serious? Well,
right.
When you love something the way you do, first off, I love to skate. So it's not a job to me.
Yeah.
And if I found niches in different markets where they're willing to pay, even now I'm in the entertainment industry as far as, man, I do performances all over where, I even do shows at like burlesque clubs where they will pay you insane amounts of money just to entertain them for, I don't have to, skate burlesque, but the fact that they hit the stage.
You got Batman thong, you got Batsmoke thong.
There are different entities in different places where they are looking for entertainment. There's a lot of people that can sing, play an instrument, dance, but there's not that many skaters that are moving the way we are.
Yeah.
And, they're willing to pay for this type of entertainment. So you mean to tell me I can go in the club, charge whatever I want for my services and do this 2-3 times a month, if you have weekly shows and just go on stage and turn up for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
This minute?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go, and it's the networking that you go through. You do a show here, you kill it. Because that's one thing that's relatable. Everybody in the world has put a pair of skates on before.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when you bring a dynamic and an entity of entertainment in which that hasn't been seen, there's one thing when you go in the skate world, you see skaters that are practicing styles and crafts. But then when you go in the middle, you see people's actual creativity. And it's not based on, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier when it comes to having friendly, subtle beefs between people. It's about being able to entertain. Anytime I've ever gone to battle or cipher against somebody, it's never been me versus that person. It's always, well, can I manipulate the crowd more so than the other person? And then I'm declared the winner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously. If you go out there and do a bajillion and one moves, that's great. But if I can win the crowd, I'll win battle.
Yeah.
And that happens in your, get-togethers, meet and greets, yada, yada, yada.
Because folks want to be entertained. At the end of the day, they want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Why else do you see 3 or 4 circles forming at skate parties?
Right.
I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I'm skated. Let me see what's happening, and it's entertaining.
Right.
Why not? Why not? And I thank the skate world so much for building up your confidence level, because it's tough going out there in front of people, especially non-skaters who don't know what it is you're doing.
Right.
They don't understand footwork or anything of that nature. But going out there and being able to have the confidence and showmanship in front of skaters who are your toughest critics, going out in front of somebody who don't know what they're looking at, that's the easiest in the world.
Yeah.
And like Ice from Philly said earlier, this market, people are clamoring for it, not just so much to learn, but for the entertainment, especially internationally. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So where did your passion and love for skating come from? Because initially you said you were rollerblading to get from place to place, but at some point it turned into a passion So where did that passion come from? And like, when did you get that passion?
Why your why changes. Your why, your skate why. Why am I doing it? It changes. I remember for a long time I was skating for all the wrong reasons. I was passionate for all the wrong reasons. I liked the intention. But as it grew, I remember skating for my mother because she couldn't. My mother was a double amputee. I remember skating for my mother, and that was my passion. And being able to go out and do a comp and bring home, some bread and like, look, Ma, I can help with the bills or something. I was able to use my art and my talent to help out my household. Using the angles of, the networking I could to help out my household, that became a passion of mine. Yeah. And, everything was like Lego based, So I remember, in the actual skate world itself, I remember skating for self. I remember using that atmosphere as a release place. I could hear God the loudest in the rink, and I'm a musician and a deacon at my church, but I can hear God the loudest at the rink, So I could say my passion came from my mother, figuring out, not knowing what direction. And then, when I lost my mother, then this lady came, and now it gives me another why, another reason. So passion, it always comes from within, but you find other things to motivate you according to, where life is taking you.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to know, has Mrs. Batsmoke ever gave you that work? Has she been like, you know what, I got you, bro. You doing the dishes tonight. Let me.
on the
I'll play with him in the rink sometimes,
Mhm.
but I can't do half of the stuff that he can't
don't
yet.
believe it.
Yet. You
Don't
you
believe
heard
it.
that? She said yet.
Yes.
Don't
Wait
don't
for it.
don't believe it. 'Cause she know exactly what she doing, how she doing it. Because I spill all of whatever I'm thinking. Hey, honey, what do you think? And if she's my voice of reason, trust me, I believe she's about 4 or 5 steps ahead of me. She just ain't bust out all the moves yet. She cooking. She definitely cooks up. And we said we were going to go full fledged on some training. It's got to be something that you desire to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes wherever she likes, and she uses the atmosphere for whatever she uses it for, and that's not mine to touch. So whatever skating is for her, and I think that's why it works. Is that I don't, you're Mrs. Batsmoke, you must train.
So that's all you.
And people will tend to have that, expectation of me just because of who I am to him. Because one of the main questions that I get asked when they find out that I'm his wife is they're like, "Oh my gosh, so can you skate like him?" And I say, well, I can skate, but I'm nothing close to what he is. I think, like he said, to his point, my reason is different. I just love to skate. I love to watch other people skate that have inspired me. And he, for sure, was one of the first inspirations in the skate world that I cling to. And I have the best teacher here. But I go because I like the unity. I like the community. I've built lifelong friends. I'm really close with Deuce Skatehead. He's like my skate partner. So we'll do routines and different things together. And we've been in the middle of the circle at skate parties. And it's just a different level of confidence that you have to have. And I'm building that up, but I've always been kind of shy and coy, which is the opposite of him. But that, I think, is what balances us.
Yeah.
We complement each other with our strengths. And I think, that the more I get into it and the more I guess my why changes, or I really discover my why, I might take it to the next level myself. But for 10 years that I've been skating, it's just been just a pure, I love skating. I love my community. I love what skating represents. I love the exercise behind it. And, and I found the love of my life.
Hey.
So basically, she don't want to use me. She don't want to do it. Trust me, I tried to be like, come on, let me show you. I'm over here.
Yeah.
See how it is.
Yeah. You asked me to hold the camera.
How about that?
So again, there you have it. Whatever.
That's pretty dope. So now, you were actually on America's Got Talent.
Okay.
So now, can you talk about that? Because I don't know if it's still filming.
Yeah, I don't know. The COVID thing stopped it.
Oh, gotcha.
Slowed everything down. Everything was shut down.
Okay.
So we were scheduled to go back again, but it was just an honor to make it that far in the first place.
Yeah.
I know there's other skaters, like the jam skaters of Honor Roll Crew, the jam skate community. They've made it on to America's Got Talent. I know Rock and Houston made it to like the Gong Show, different things of that nature. But we would have been the first in the rhythm community to represent the rhythm community and go out there, which would have been amazing. I was like, yo, I just need give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was just an honor to make it there. I mean, the auditions were, fun. We were in Houston or Dallas. We were in Texas. It was maybe 5,000-6,000 people there.
Wow.
There were at least maybe 2,000 in our group, and they only gave 2 groups tickets. We were in the dance category. So they only gave 2 groups tickets, and me and my crew, and another guy that can fit into a suitcase. does the bone breaking. He made it.
Whoa.
Oh wow, wow.
It was a ton of talent there, and the fact that we were considered out of everybody out there, because again, skating is something that you don't see often,
Right.
especially the type of entertaining, skating or visuals that we can create. The magic that we could create out there, is different. So it was something that they wanted to, it was just an honor to go. It was an honor to make it that far. Hopefully when it kicks back up, hey, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Because all I need to do is touch that stage. I already know what wheels I'm gonna wear for that type of floor. All of that. All of that.
Yeah.
So
how did it come about though? Was it just something that, you were sitting down in the Bat Cave and you looked over at Mrs. Batsmoke and you was like, you know
There are
what?
auditions. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Actually,
I'm gonna do this.
they contacted us.
Oh wow.
There's one thing where the skate world, I skate in the skate world, but then I do entertainment as well, like I mentioned earlier. And we've been blessed and fortunate enough to touch on many surfaces and many stages, and many atmospheres and many arenas in which we've been booked for entertainment. And America's Got Talent actually reached out to us.
Oh, nice.
And they were like, you know what, we have an opening, we've been watching you. We have an opening here in Dallas if you guys can get down here, and we did. So we went down there. So yeah, they kind of reached out to us. So it's definitely, been a blessing to take skating to a different platform.
Yeah.
In different arenas. And I think that's pretty much what my why is now. One of them is being able to take skating outside of our community.
Yeah.
And put it on platforms that have never been reached. Because, people are comfortable being comfortable. We can talk all day about what's going on in our bubble or even in our sub bubble in our city or in our sub bubbles in our rinks in our communities. But there's things in, there's the outer space is unknown. So even, I know you've talked to many performers who have done shows, but those of us where it's a living and a lifestyle of ours, myself, Ice Breeze, who've been there, it's a different element. And you make unique connections. And I'll never forget, we skated on stage at a Prince concert, New Power. We were the New Power Generation skaters.
Oh, wow.
At the United Center, his last show here in Chicago. So, being in front of those type of crowds and things of that nature and being able to, hit your movement or do the type of skating that you want to do and hear an arena erupt.
Yeah.
It's different than getting claps for attempts inside a crazy leg circle. So, when you figure out what makes you hungry, you decide you want to go for it. So, that's why we have Batsmoke Entertainment.
Okay, so now you went from Batman to Batsmoke. What was the evolution with the name?
Well, Batman has, its own ties to other things which are not mine. I don't own Batman.
Right.
In the skate world, I can use it as a metaphor for my character, but Batsmoke is original. So Batsmoke is original where I could still keep my skate community identity and then make something of my own.
Right.
And that's what I decided to go to with the help of the brain. And it's sticking, and I can again, I don't have to live by anybody's means or message, or I don't have to live by any rules in a lawless land of skating. You can be whatever it is that you want. So I'd rather be the thing you see before I get there and the last thing you remember when I'm gone.
Yeah. But
So
you have over the years, you have built your persona, like you've changed a little bit and done a lot of different things. But the one thing I constantly see, like in looking, you always have this little whiteboard and you put little messages on your whiteboard. Where did that come from? And is that how you propose?
On the whiteboard.
As I went from party to party, I decided to make each party unique for me.
Okay.
And every party that I went to, I would do something else. Like Dog Pound was the whiteboard, was the dry erase board, where I know they had one of the greatest meet and greets where you did games. I don't know if you've been to the Dog Pound parties. But during that meet and greet, I wouldn't say anything to anybody. I would just write my thoughts on the whiteboard and just hold it up. whatever it is. So it got to stick to the point where it became a segment where it was celebrity lookalikes, where I would go around the building and see who looked like who and write it on the whiteboard, and they would I'll hold it over their head, and they would take a picture of who this person looked like. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I would think in each party, I would do something different, kind of like RITC, I would floor guard, but horribly. So it would be a real floor guard. So whatever the floor guard would say, I would come blow the whistle and tell them to do the exact opposite. Get off the wall, slower, or whatever. So it would all be about going from party to party and picking something and making it not only unique for myself, and it just so happened to be, comedic gold wherever it would be. So every party was different. I wouldn't take the whiteboard to another party. I wouldn't be a floor guard somewhere else, and it would be unique. And that was the relationships that I started building with the coordinators, and then people started catching on to different things where, okay, we're looking forward to this happening this year. My latest thing was, after the sessions of DJs, after the session, I would take pictures of everybody that fell asleep. And not show it as, oh, you fell asleep, but yeah, you put in so much work, you had to tap out. So, and I actually derived that from Wes Jiggs, who used to do the Woozy Cam. But I just decided to take that same element and change the meaning of it. Hey, you put in so much, you had to sit down and take a nap for a second. So, and then I posted to the DJ's page, another victim of arson, another victim of tone, another victim of, you know what I'm saying? So now people try and do their best to, take their naps before the session.
So they didn't get caught by the whiteboard.
People were even trying to get him back. They were trying to. I think the only one who really got you was.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. You have to be at the. You have to be at the ring. You can't catch me. You can't catch me sleeping in my hotel room. It doesn't count. The thing is, you got no sleep weekends. There are no sleep weekends.
Right, exactly.
People catching naps in all types of corners underneath the skee ball machines and whatnot.
Places like little nooks and crannies, little crevices. They will fall asleep.
Bottom line, don't take a nap at a party. So yeah, the whiteboard.
They will catch you. Yep.
The whiteboard was a dog pound. Floor garden was RITC. I remember certain other parties, it was just, I would act like I was a baller. I'd bring a ton of Monopoly money and try and pay for everything.
Oh, wow.
I would go up to the desk and be like, don't worry, your room is on me. The host hotel used to be, one of the hangout spots besides actual going out meet and greets in the earlier days. The meet and greets all happened in the hotels, in their ballrooms and different things of that nature. Some of those hotels had restaurants. So it was easy to walk in a restaurant and be like, I got your meal, drop a 20 or whatever. Here, go buy you a skate shirt, baby.
Right.
Anything, you just got to find something. And I just tried to make the most out of every skate party, for myself, but to create as many memories as I possibly could with absolutely everybody. And now you have lifelong friends where whatever city you go to, you could call somebody and, they'll take care of you and they'll, look after you and vice versa. When people come to Chicago, they either call myself, Breeze, or Jeremy.
Right.
And, we'll go pick them up from the airport. We'll make sure, Ebony was in here just on a layover. And I took them over there to, Walgreens. Hey, get you some snacks for the road, whatever. Yeah. But that's what family and community is about.
Right.
And especially when you come to Chicago, we want to show you as much hospitality as we possibly can. If it's not from the community, I'm a representative of it. So, hey, when you come to Chicago, you'll see what's up. So we're looking forward to your visit.
Hey.
Yeah. So, and since both of you guys have been in the community and we're talking about community for so long, how have you seen the community change from, when you first kind of came in and started, and like, what are some of the changes that you see now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, personally, skating in your earlier years, skating was life.
Right.
Skating was life. You moved your entire day around for skating in the afternoon or skating at night. I remember even in my younger years, even in the, dealing with the same era of people, you had your $25, 10 would go in a tank, 2 would go to a cheeseburger, and then the rest would go to your admission and drink when you got in the rink. That's how you moved your day.
Right.
So skating was life. So you go from watching when you are the new and fresh and hot, going in there and skating be life, and all these people around you, and skating is life for them too. And then to people getting married, having children, having to get more jobs, relocate, deaths in people's families. And then remember, it was a hobby for a lot of people. Just watching the importance of it go from the highest ever to, we're going to put it second on the list. We're going to put it third on the list, fourth on the list. To the point where, when skating is life, your entire lives were lived in the rink. You see the skaters more than you saw your own personal family. You were in there 3-4 days a week.
Right.
So that with that, you got to love the skate world, the good, bad, and the ugly. So when relationships fall out, the girl don't want to come skate no more because he there, and his new girl also a skater, or his new dude or her new dude's also. So you see evolutions of people's relationships, and you don't necessarily know what they go through, but you act. It's almost as if, you learn the people and their mechanisms and their ways around you.
Yeah.
So how you see the skate world change is basically the same version of your evolution as well, where you put it. And then that's your perspective. But yeah, I remember it being 700-800 deep, lying around the corner, all the way to being 1 hour, 2 hours left in the session, and then people trickle in.
Yeah.
They wait for it to get hot, and summertime it slows down. Wintertime is popping only on certain nights. There's a lot of stipulations now, and I do see how social media has played a positive and a negative role. I do see how, I remember my sister Maisha said over here yesterday, we have so many, we have to be separated. And, even to piggyback off that, we are generationally segregated, not by age, but by style and etiquette. So, if this the vibe you want, you go here. If this the vibe you want, you go there. And the fact that we see so many, it's generational. We have so many skaters. Everybody doesn't have to be under the same roof. If one place can provide an atmosphere for you, and another one can provide another atmosphere for you. Hence why we have new school, middle school, old school. We all JB though. You kind of get what I'm saying? So if you like music, you're not, if you don't like rock and roll, and then rock and roll is the only show that's happening on Wednesday, if somebody's putting up R&B show somewhere else, you have the option. And, so it's gone down that road where we become spoiled, overly privileged sometimes. But on the other hand, fortunate, grateful that you can get exactly what you want. And then that becomes your night,
Right.
So yeah, I've seen it rise. I've seen it fall. I've seen every transition from summer to winter. I've seen the skaters that skate heavy in the winter. I've seen them skate in the summer, and then I've seen them transition in, transition out.
Right. But you actually made a good point a few minutes ago, and it kind of goes back to, if there was a point in time where you had a lot of options because there was a lot of skating rinks, but because you loved to skate, you would go anyways, even if you didn't particularly like it. You would still go just so you can get the roll in. But also, you learn to, if it wasn't what you wanted, you learn to turn it into what you wanted. And I think some of that kind of gets lost because, for one thing, especially for DJs. Okay, I'll use this as an example. Okay, not everybody's gonna like what you play, but don't gripe about it. Make a suggestion to him,
or her.
or her. That way we get to really learn what everyone really likes, and we can make sure that we hit everybody.
Well, it would work some places, but when you are in a unified community such as Chicago, where we move as a unit, so we have the power. We literally have and use the power to either make or break sessions. You
Right.
kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's different. It's different when you have certain rinks that are owned by the state and then privately owned rinks where they, if we don't get what we want, guess what? We got someplace else to go and we'll all move together.
Okay.
You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so now you have, and it's almost like we put our own poison in our water, because instead of it just being a facility where, I know you see a lot of people who have backlashes between, we want to do this at our rink, but the rink doesn't let us do it, whatever. That's because, and maybe in that particular place, the people, don't have the control like the people have the control. They just don't use it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that comes from, the rink owners knowing what the skaters want. And because of course, social media says it, Facebook says it, what's on your mind.
Yeah.
And people put it up here, man, I wish we would this, and we want this, and we want that. So each rink, as far as business is concerned, they try and do whatever it is they can, and they create atmospheres for exactly this group of crowd. And the fact of it is that if this is what works, and this is what's bringing the people, they'll come to this session. So we wound up, creating middle school, new school, old school, different vibes. Some of them same night, some of them different nights where, hey, if I want some energy, hit the new school. If I want slow and smooth, I hit the old school. If I'm looking for a vibe, hit the OG sessions, whatever. And then they schedule them throughout the day. Most of the adult nights are at night, but they schedule throughout the day according to everybody's schedule where everybody can rock.
Yeah, but I think one important thing that you said was that when you guys didn't like something or you wanted something, you moved as a unit. And I don't think we're moving as a unit anymore.
No.
And that's where we have to get back to as moving as a unit. Because like you said, a rink owner is, if you're a unit and you move like that, they're going to have to listen to you or they're not going to have anybody there.
Right.
But we're not unified like that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, because okay, I'm gonna say it. There has been some places where people that aren't qualified are having. I think some people that aren't qualified are having a platform that they shouldn't be on.
I agree. Yeah.
And they are voicing certain opinions of things that they don't know anything about. Like I know, if you are a newbie coming in, and everybody should have the same exact rights to skate wherever they want to skate, how they want to skate. But if you are a week in, 2 weeks in, a year in, whatever the case is, and you've only experienced one thing from one place, and that's all you know, you can't have opinions about what's going on the opposite side. And we have generational gaps as well. Most cities you see is new school versus old school, what they like in their city and what the old school likes in their city and why they bumping heads and clashing. The beautifully here, we're generational. It's passed down from place to place to place. We're not a melting pot. Our culture is one thing here. So even when sometimes family bumps heads here, you want to pass down something, but then the next ones that are coming in, they're like, we may not want that. We want something different. You can't force that upon me. But social media definitely has given a platform to some people to say, hey, I don't like this session. Wow, what happened, friend?
Yeah.
Wow, what happened? I totally agree. They play the music and they cut it off too quick. I ain't going. And then that one person influences 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then the people who are going there for whatever their why is, it was dead tonight. I don't want to go. I'm not going next week.
And then they post it on social media.
And then they post it.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely you kill a set. You kill a set.
Yeah.
You slowly kill a ring.
I have to agree with that 100%. Yeah.
I put it to you like this. People saying, so many different things happening. The rinks are closing. But remember, it's the people that put it in. So old school are transitioning out. They're not necessarily embracing the rental skaters or the new people that are coming in. Oh, you in my way on my night. That's discouraging for some newbie who doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old school are going out. They're not replacing. New school are coming in without the guidance. They don't know exactly, where it's going. if we were doing everything that we were supposed to be doing, then the rinks wouldn't be closing if we consistently had our numbers or if we were feeding the next.
Right.
Where we see a lot of people taking out of the bowl and not putting anything back in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got them leaving. You got some coming with no guidance. So hence why if, the rinks will close, if the rinks are closing, why are they? Due to lack of attendance, lack of funding. But earlier in the days when it wasn't there, it was 700-800 people a night, rinks thriving, 10-20 rinks in the city, sessions all day long, yada, yada, yada. What happens? Yeah. I don't think anything in this community explodes. I think a lot of it implodes.
Yeah.
A lot of it implodes. Remember, people stop skating for non-skate related reasons. Injury, family, babies, whatever, job. So now as a superhero, I feel, one of my purposes is to not only continue to spread love and life, but to take it to a platform to continuously bring awareness and to continue to inspire non-skaters to come skating. If our bodies inside our bubble are not promoting or producing more bodies, we have to go out and get more bodies and teach them and show them. So guess what? If I go and do a show, if I hit another arena or I hit another club, dang, that was beautiful. That was dope. I don't remember skating like that. I can get back to it. Guess what? Come on to my shop. Holla at Chris Nelson. Let's go to Pete's in Cali. Get you some skates. Come learn the culture. Adding one. Girl, I had such a good time skating last night. Boy, I had such a good time skating last night. I'm going again.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I liked in your statement is that you mentioned other people in different states. It wasn't just the people around you. You're like, hey, let's go to Cali, talk to Pete. Let's go here, talk to this person, that person. And that's great because that gives people exposure to the vastness of the skate community, because some people, especially ones who aren't in the skate community, they just know what's in their community. They don't know about the skate parties. They don't know about the meet and greets. Yeah. They don't know about when you can go out of town and say, hey, I'm out of town. I ain't got no place to stay. A skater will step in and say, hey, you can come crash with me and my family. They don't know about that.
I get it. It's called Skaters Konnect Radio for a reason.
Yes.
There you go.
Right.
I get the people, the founders. I believe like the founders, originators, the pioneers. They do need their honor and their recognition. The history does need to be out there.
Yes, it does.
1,001%. People got to know where it came from. All of this, but there also has to be a connection and a universal language. And our universal language is our skates. If you notice, it doesn't matter religious background, black, white, purple, gay, straight, none of that. None of that matters because now we got wheels on. So it's about something in our community being able to happen where it's able to, we're able to connect with everybody in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because the beauty of our community is that it's all walks of life in it. You got people that do some of everything, and I need a mechanic. I can holler at my homie if if I need my taxes done, I'm going to Jamal. If I need Mary Kay, I'm going to Tone. If I whatever, you got cops, lawyers, you got beauticians, hairstylists, where we have everything we need in our community to survive not only in life but in skate life as well. And there's interconnecting communities as far as, we only focus on the rhythm community. You got derby, you got jam, you got outdoor, artistic, you got, all these different communities that also offer resources that we haven't even tapped into. And because I know one thing, a lot of communities are envious of our numbers, our parties, how much fun will we post, yada, yada, yada. They may not have the numbers we have, but, they have sponsorship. They have, the business savvy behind it. There's never been an app before.
Correct.
Look at this. If you didn't know about Skate Groove, if you didn't know about all these other entities that are out here to find your picture or to find, so you gotta evolve with the times,
right.
While still honoring and maintaining where you come from and
Exactly.
the path that was laid for you.
Yeah.
So you owe it. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants right now. I owe it to the people before me to see that door and kick it down, not open it, kick it down. And even sometimes God opens up doors just for you to walk through. Yeah. So it's my job to walk through that door myself, make some space so I can turn around and open that door and people can flood on in here. Because don't think for a hot second if I get a phone call from a celeb or anything of that nature, kind of like when we did Empire. Oh man, we just want one, we just want two. I was like, bro, there's more than just me.
Yeah.
And now we got 20 and 30 and 40, 50 skaters in the same video trying to get that exposure, even if they don't like me or what it is that I do.
Yeah.
If you got somebody like Jedediah or you got somebody like Verdell or Maisha or somebody that get that phone call and they make it Darren Williams in Jersey and Lava, any one of these cats, Ice, any one of them. If you call them and they make it, Quest from Cali, if any one of them make it, I should feel like, dang, we made it.
We all made it. Right.
One of us is in.
Right.
One of us made it. You know what I'm saying? And whether I make it or not, you know what I'm saying? It's my job to whatever door that I can kick down.
Yeah.
Because I ain't opening nothing.
Yeah.
I'm kicking it down that I can turn around and be like, yo, they need us for the next movie. They need us for the next this. They need us for this music video. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially for my specific community. It's a proud moment because we're seeing skating in KFC commercials. We're seeing skating in music videos. We're seeing skaters in every place. Right. It's bound to happen. Yeah. So just like everything goes round and round, skating is about to, I remember in one of your other videos, you mentioned a resurgence in skating. I need to be a part of that. I want to be one of the guys that start that wave. I don't need to ride it. I want to kick it off though and start it.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, so recently there was a news article that I read, and it was some people that are starting to go viral on TikTok for roller skating. However, these are celebrities that were like supermodels,
and they're not really skaters.
They're not really skaters,
roller skaters.
And they throw on some skates, and then they do a TikTok video, and now it goes viral, and now they're like, "Oh, I'm about to make my own skates now," and so forth. And they really weren't even skating. Now, me, I see stuff like that, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, this is what we do." They're just going straight and doing a couple of moves and listening to stuff, and but then the world sees it and they're like, "Oh my God, that's like the greatest thing."
Right.
So, what do you think it's gonna take for people to take more notice in the skaters that are actually doing this? And that's a lifestyle for us, not just somebody who was famous who just threw on some skates and now all of a sudden they're getting endorsements and everything like that, and they can't even skate.
So it's up to the skater themselves. That's why it's Batsmoke Entertainment. What are you doing as a skater? If that's what you want and that's what you want to see, what are you doing for yourself, your business, that you'll be prepared for when the opportunity comes? Are you SAG-AFTRA? Are you, do you have, your business ready? Do you have, your video packages ready?
Yeah.
Any type of exposure, good or bad, skate related, is going to make them delve deeper into skating in general. And we're in the mix somewhere.
Yeah.
So what are skaters doing? The question is, are you putting yourself in a position to capitalize and or, be ready for the exposure when it does come? So even if, Kim Kardashian puts on some skates or whatever the case is, and she goes viral for putting on some skates, eventually it's got to be something in it where she's going to look for, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm starting to like where this is going. I need some more information about it.
And I think also too, what skaters could do when they're posting things, like one thing that I noticed when Josh would post on Instagram, he would tag celebrities. So that, excuse me, so that, they could see that post and they could share that post and they can familiarize themselves with the people in the skate community that are truly skaters. And then it makes me think about, I think, was it Mike Epps?
Mike Epps and Tina
that
B
went live
with Tina B.
He invited
Two-wheel Tina.
onto his live.
Mm-hmm.
How did he know to do that? He had to know who she was or had
Mhm.
some type of previous connection or communication with her. So I think just putting yourself out there, just having that exposure, connecting with the people that do have the large audience that can help you, that have already been through those doors, that can help you, bring you along with them.
Yeah.
I think is important. And, just being consistent with that.
Yeah.
And another thing you said is to be ready. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people, they say they want it, but then they come, they don't have don't even have a DBA, they have an LLC themselves, they don't have a video package, they don't have a photo shoot, but you
All of
want
that.
to be ready. You have to be ready when they knock on the door.
And being ready doesn't mean I could put my skates on and turn up, because you still got the people who say they ready, but when you cut the cameras on, here comes the
Right.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, So it's definitely a journey psychologically to be physically ready. Because I mean, we all got the skill level to do whatever in camera and editing. Of course, people with you could get out there and bust a 1-2, have the greatest expression on your face, and the whole world is gonna vibe with you.
Yeah.
You kind of know what I'm saying? So, definitely about being ready and making those connections. Yeah, Mike lives in Cali, but yet still Tina B in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And he on live with her.
Yeah.
You kind of get what I'm saying? So Cohen in New York, on the new ABC News. So
yeah, and just like how with America's Got Talent, you said they have been watching you. So you actually may be on somebody's radar right now and just don't know it.
Let's go.
So like the
we're
Queen
on
was saying,
radio right now.
Yeah. So like the Queen was saying, and you were saying, is that you have to make sure you're ready for that. Because you don't want that opportunity to pass you by. Plus, there's a lot of older skaters in the community that have gone through that stuff. So reach out to them, like yourself, Ice, Rockin' Richard. We spoke to a gentleman from
Roger Green.
Yeah, Roger Green from Cali, who's done a lot. He skated with Michael Jackson, y'all. I mean, Michael Jackson, come on now. You know what I'm saying? So we have the knowledge there, and we have the information there. Us as skaters, we just need to learn how to tap into it. Because history is important.
But I think a part of that is people don't want to ask anybody because they're scared you're going to steal their thunder. Like if I go back and ask this brother, oh, maybe he's going to try to get in the commercial, instead of looking at it from the standpoint that I want what I want for myself, I want for my brother. And then I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you to make that, because you don't know. Like they don't know about SAG. They don't know about these things. And they sign these contracts. They get their $200 per day. They walk away. And these companies are making millions of dollars off their backs.
Absolutely.
So it's important.
And to go back off your point where, we're not worried about, is this person going to get it instead of me? I'm so fortunate to have mentorship from legends, peers that not only, and that's why I love skating so much, is that now I've only gotten so much mentorship from, life skills and people like Breeze and people like Jeremy Jones. And of course, Ice, Rockin' Houston, Richard Humphrey. I call Joy all the time, and I speak to my elders, Darren Williams out of New York. I could go on and on and on down the line and be like, hey man, I'm going through this. What is it that what is about to happen? What am I thinking? Am I wrong? Do I need to find myself? Nice them. I'll speak to those people. Jamal again, Deverett out of Atlanta from here. There's people who have, not only just your best interest in mind, but who also have been in places that you haven't, been. And you're actually honoring them when you ask them things that you don't know.
Oh yeah.
They not only they'll be on the journey with you, and so you need that support. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I could have gone anywhere, without the help of my community. Don't think Batman did any of this by himself. Don't think Josh Smith is living life right now without the help of somebody or something. And, I'm not afraid or ashamed to be like, yo, I get a lot of help You know, from posting to sharing to, you know, Salita Coleman, you know, to all different types of people. And now when you do have an opportunity and a platform is to remember them, you know, Ginger, Skate Critic, when you have an opportunity, you know, Arson, Brian, your DJs, Tone, all the people who have helped you get to where you are. You got to make sure that not only they're acknowledged when you get there and to include them in the way. So maybe whatever your plan is or whatever God's plan is for you to get to where you think you want to go, that could be just your segue to set them up for their blessing. And then, you know, you'll be helped out along the way as well. I just been fortunate enough to be put in positions that I'm supposed to be put in. You know, coming from a negative mind, I can tell you, I used to wear this for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? I used to wear it for a wrong reason. And, you know, and now, you know, that growth is happening and the people that are around me are allowing me to see, you know, what skate life really, you know, should be and where it is and what it is, you know. So the metaphor is the reason why I wear the mask in the first place. You've heard the saying, you wear your emotions on your sleeve. And what is it that we're doing when we're skating? We're completely and utterly expressing ourselves. There's nothing like a skater that goes out there and you just see them lost in the music. Lost. You can't tell them nothing. You don't see nothing. You don't see nobody. And then all of a sudden, how often do we code switch in life? You know, we code switch in front of the police. We code switch in front of mom. We code switch in our church services. We code switch when we go to work. We code switch with our homie. We code switch with the one we don't like. But, you know, we found skating as a place of, you know, a sanctuary, so to speak. We wear our emotions on our sleeve. So that's kind of like why I wear it on my sleeve, because now I can be vulnerable. Yeah, I wear it on my sleeve, literally. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, literally.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I could be vulnerable, or I can create this to be whatever mask that we put on. You could be in pain. You could be having knee pain right now, and nobody knows it because you got your mask on. You could be happy right now. You could be sad, depressed. People are going through things in their life. People are losing people to not only this COVID or sicknesses, old age. People are losing people. We're losing people in life, dude. Whether you go to a skate session or not, people are getting sick. They're hurt, abused, and they come in the rink and, you know, people are looking up to them because they're smiling, they're laughing, they're teaching.
You would
never know it. You never know it. And they put that mask on, literally and figuratively, you know, literally and figuratively. They put that mask on to release whatever it is in that atmosphere for that moment. They transform into Mrs. Batsmoke. They transform into Queen. They transform into Batman. They transform. It's a piece of who you are. Don't get it twisted. But some people lose whoever completely. I remember I was one of them. Lose yourself completely in that character of who you want to be in the ring, whatever it is.
And how did you bring yourself back? Because you said you were doing it for the wrong reasons, and you got loud. How did you come back?
Through tragedy, through downs. You know, because I could sit up here and put this mask on and show up to an event and be the most beloved, fun, loving, sexy, sassy, sexy, sassy, funny, fun-loving. You could be whatever character that you wanted to, and sometimes in the earlier times that would get to my head. I would do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it outside of skate. You know, because I knew Batman was so confident and mysterious that outside of skating, I could still be I could tap in or turn it on, even in this atmosphere. You know, I used the confidence that, you know, skating gave me, and I transformed it and used that in other arenas where it didn't belong. Then my mother passed, which was, I felt like my number one cheerleader, and I was her caregiver. Again, she was a bilateral amputee. I had to wash, bathe, clothe, feed, medicine, the whole nine.
Yeah.
The whole nine. And then when she when she passed, I felt like, what is it that I'm doing with my life? What am I doing? Because, that was my focus. Because I can, go to work, take care of mom, and then skate till I got tired because, I was just in there rolling, and then come home, go to sleep, and then repeat it again.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, or take care of mom, gym, skate, repeat, sleep, eat, repeat. You know what I'm saying? That was just a routine for so long. And then when she passed, I was like, what? Now I got all this, free time and connections, and what do I do now? And then it started, I started transforming. I've had, many partnerships, even with people I'm partners with, Calvin Small and Natasha Thurman, who are my skate partners now, the Gladiators, which is when you see us traveling around and us three, that's my core performance group. You build relationships with those people. You start the same thing where I couldn't figure myself is where I found myself going back to that community to latch on to something. Right. Latch on to skating because that's all you knew. Latch on to the, this young lady. Latch on to your friends and family. Latch on. And then you kind of see where you can navigate. Yeah. Because again, if your family isn't involved in your actual life, because again, you don't know what people are going through. If your family isn't involved in your life, you do have other people as inspiration in other places who do mean well for you. Yeah. So it started changing, through, loss of mother. It started changing, early before, just trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do with life. Figuring out what was next, where to go. I know Bree said that often. You can have a bajillion accomplishments. I never think, winning my first competition, I felt like I was king of the world. My very first one, which was skate skills in Indianapolis, and I felt like I was king of the world. I couldn't be stopped or touched by anything in the world. Yeah. Never knowing that I'd be going, leaving the country. Never knowing I'd be entertaining the thousands years and years later. Yeah. So it's a journey. It's a journey I'm so appreciative of.
Okay, good deal. So now we actually had a skater who just sent us a message. Shout out to Pam. And she's curious if, like, once you tag celebrities, has anyone ever responded back to you? And she also wanted to give you a big shout out for being your mom's caretaker. And she loves that you guys are a power couple. Let me tell y'all something. We're looking at them on video right now, and they look like the Barack and Michelle Obama roller skating right now.
No, he doesn't. Thank you, Pam. But if you see this hair, girl,
wait, she gonna watch it as soon as it get in the app, so she'll know what we're looking at.
But yeah, but yeah. So has any other celebrities ever? I can't talk right now. Has any other celebrities reached out?
Yes,
there you go.
A few. I've received. Well, I can't say them all.
Some of them started following you.
Yeah, some of them. I've received some messages that I can't disclose, but yes, a few of them. But it was just, it was extremely flattering. It was humbling, and it's almost like, all right, well, now you saw it. Now you want to reach out, like, what's up? Let's move. Where you trying to go?
So what you gonna do now?
Yeah.
I'm ready now. I got everything I need, honey. Let's go.
And then too, I think because we saw his boot trick where he sends it around and it comes back to him. We saw that on World Star Hip Hop.
It was World Star. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember that.
Yeah. So it's things like that where you don't know what happened in between time from when that video was made, who he shared it with, whose hands it got into, and who they sent it to for it to end up on World Star Hip Hop for somebody to recognize it. So it's all those things that we might not see behind the scenes, but now you see, lo and behold, it's on their website and it's being shared and talked about.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just not giving up. It's just being consistent, and you might not get a response right away. But if the same person or the same people keep seeing you, you're going to be on their radar. You're going to be in their mind. I think about when we went to Taraji P. Henson's birthday party. We got in because of who we knew, because we were at the right place at the right time. And then, too, Taraji remembered Josh from standing out when he was doing an episode of Empire. And she remembered him. And she wanted to, do something with us. And she came up to him and us and said, show me something. And he just took off from
there.
There
it go. What? It's time.
Yeah. And then people had their phones and they were recording it. And it might be a year later, and then their memories comes around, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna reshare this, or right, exactly. Oh, that guy, him, he's got that, mask on his arm.
And it's all about being prepared.
That's another marketing technique. Is even if you don't remember the name, you remember the trademark. So if you were to type in "dude with Batman mask on his arm," pretty sure it might. So I even had to create an Instagram in the first place because somebody on Facebook said, hey, you're going viral on Instagram. And I'm like, I switch over to Instagram and I'm like at 7-8 million views. And I'm like, dude, how are you going to share my video and not even
tag me?
Dude, that's me in the video, bro.
Can't get tagged if you don't have an account.
Yeah, so I had to, that's another thing is that I was putting up, even from the slaughter video on YouTube, when that first went viral, it was like, all right, well, maybe I need to get a little bit more onto use this platform to share a little bit more. So now I try and, whatever content I decide to put out, make sure that I put out something crazy, amazing, and tag the celebrities and tag the people that could do something. Hey, you want this in your video? I can do this for real. There's no editing here. And guess what? You book me, I got 100 million other people that could get down too. So, what you want to do? Start here. And we can work our way around.
Right. So about the skate when it comes back around to, I'm sure everybody want to know, how is it done? Do you have little midgets in there driving it or something to come back to you or something?
No. But I can say one thing that sets me apart as a skater is that I am overly analytical about every single thing of my skate. I'm overly analytical about, I have 8 different wheels on my skates, all for a purpose. The Velcro I have on my skates, all for a purpose. The way my laces are, my tongues, it's just, I've turned it into a science completely, 100,000%. Everything is meant. As far as being able to send my boot around. Remember, we come up with different movement via mistake. We make mistakes. Oh, that's yada, yada, yada. But that particular movement, I can figure eight it now. I just haven't released it yet.
Oh, wow.
I just haven't released it yet. But there are certain things where you get in there and you experiment. When you're an artist of the craft and you always want to get into practice and perfect your craft, you start figuring out different things that other people wouldn't think of. As far as creativity, what will create visuals. The video that went viral was me sending it around half the ring. I could send it a lap now. I could send it around a circle inside the crazy leg circle. You get what I'm saying? So you start figuring out different ways to be innovative for whatever atmosphere. So no, yes, that was meant to be done. Are they asking me to reveal the secret?
We know Batsmoke got to keep his identity.
I know, like if he tells you, he'll have to kill you.
But and of course, a couple of, it's not like it's a major secret, but a couple of my super close friends, they know how I do it. They know how I do it. So it's not magic. Remember, Batman had no powers; he had gadgets.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So it's figuring out what it is that's going to allow you to do what it is that you do. So I do take the time for people to, encourage us to say, hey, figure something out. Why do we wear 2 pairs of socks? Why do you lace your skates this way? What happens if you do it this way? So when I go to practice, I'm extremely experimental. Just like my sis Maisha, she was doing taking the wheels off in the front and in the back. I was trying to get her to do one.
You want to see her do it? Come on, Maisha.
but it's that experimental phase. It's just I practice different.
Yeah.
I practice different. So when I get in here, I'm trying to figure out how many different ways I can use this jacket. If I can thread through my wife's hair or something, whatever. How can I use her earrings? Something common that well, you know what, you got glasses on. Let me be able to do something with your glasses. So now, if I catch you in a circle, I should be able to have a trick that I've done 100,000 times with a pair of glasses or the head wrap you got on. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's about being able to manipulate and adapt absolutely everything around you. And control, have 1,000% control of everything around you. That way, nothing in any atmosphere could take you out of your element. You can use whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's interesting because your skates is kind of like your house. You know it inside and out. You know what works for you, because some people will ask me, like, how do you skate with no laces in your skates? That's just what I've always done. That's what makes me comfortable. If I put laces in my skates right now, I probably couldn't skate.
The funny thing is, we wear flip flops without laces.
Yeah.
So how do we control that? We ball our toes up,
and that's
we
exactly
keep the
what it is.
on the back of the. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So depending on the sock game that you got, I wear like 3 pairs of socks on the left and 4 on the right.
Wait a minute, correction. You wear my socks.
Oh.
This is a fun fact. This is a fun fact.
No, because he says they're fluffy and soft, and I fold them neatly in the dryer. He is the same way.
They're good luck.
Still goes and grabs.
I don't care. I'm married. What do I have to lose? I'm gonna wear the socks.
Babe, why you got my socks on?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear them. She got the fluffy socks, so I want to wear them, and I'm gonna skate in them, and that's my excuse.
So of all the things you've done, you skated nationally, you skated internationally because you were at the London Music Fest in like 2012 or 20. So of that, you've got America's Got Talent, you've got some adrenaline awards. Out of all the things you've done, which was the most inspiring for you?
Teaching class.
Okay.
Teaching class is the most inspiring. The reason why is because sometimes after classes, when somebody is getting in their zone, the zone is the most inspiring, knowing you have something to do with it. And not only something with that, but when I see somebody sitting on their skate, or when I see something that I've personally created being utilized, and somebody's in the lab in their own mind, whether they know I helped them with that or not, or whether it came from me or not, the fact that you're seeing pieces of you all over the rink, that is the most inspiring. To, even be tagged in some videos where people are trying to send their boot around the ring. Being tagged in videos of like my homie Ghost, who, slide through, sit on the skate and slide through people's legs. That was my first like signature trick. Was, people, wasn't sitting on those skates, and that's never been done before. So when I see like shorties get out there and try it, or when I see go to different sessions and I see people trying different, movements, but definitely the most inspiring is, after class, somebody, whatever it may be, whether it be foundation based, something as simple as doing a cross, and they weren't doing it before. And now all of a sudden watching the evolution of that, and be like, the excitement on their face that they get when they get it.
Yeah.
I don't even, whether I created it or not, or showed them how to do it. If somebody come up to me like, yo, how you do this? And I break it down to them, because I'm extremely analytical when it comes to lessons. And then they get it. Showing somebody and then they get it is the most inspiring.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of teachers out here, qualified and unqualified, but being the guy, the go-to guy, especially here, along with Calvin Small and Maisha, being the go-to people, and being recognized by your community. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Well, you can hit up Maisha, you can hit up Josh, you can hit up Calvin, you can hit up Anita, they'll get you straight.
Yeah.
That makes me feel, really good.
Yeah.
That makes me feel really good.
So real quick, we have a few minutes left here. Outside of skating, what do you guys do? I'm outside of skating, and this is a two-part question for both of you guys. So what do you guys do outside of skating? And also, what's next for you? So we'll start with Mrs. Batsmoke.
So outside of skating, I'm heavily involved with our church.
Okay.
So I am a choir member. I sing in the choir on the soprano side, and then I'm also a deaconess. So I just have, responsibilities that, I have to do for my church community. And it feels good to know that I'm doing it in the honor of God, who is the reason for everything. He is the reason why we have been blessed and sustained in all the ways that we have been. So we give honor to him in all the ways that we can. I also do motivational speaking from time to time. I've been asked to speak at church. I've been asked to speak at my place of employment where I work. I work for a Catholic parish. Shout out to Father Matt.
Father Matt!
Hey. Uh-oh, I think it froze up on us. You guys still there?
Vegan.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, you froze up after Father Matt.
Yeah.
God just came down.
But no, I was just saying that, and then outside from doing, stuff for my church community, stuff for my job, I'm just getting used to being a new vegan and learning how to cook, being a new vegan and embracing that lifestyle. So, and that in addition to taking care of our dog Ozzy, who was snoring in the middle of our interview. So give that. He was back there.
We didn't hear him, so it's okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I do outside of skating. It keeps me busy, and I work. So.
She's a full-time wife and chief manager for Batsmoke Entertainment.
Hey,
as well.
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So that definitely makes my life a lot easier. So I can do the work, the physical work, and she's good with the numbers and all of that good stuff.
Good deal.
What do I do, man? Skating is, believe it or not, I've made skating absolutely every aspect of my life. Besides, I'm a deacon at my church as well, and also a musician there.
What do you play?
Percussion, New Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. Yeah, so I've been there,
over 16 years.
16, 17 years, been playing there. And I've actually managed to turn skating into complete, that pays the bills, that's the fun, that's the release, that's the exercise. Also working Underground Wheels here as a skate tech, so I'm like a mini Chris Nelson. So I'm like the Chris Nelson of Chicago. But even then, I still call Chris and be like, bro, what is this? He'd be like, yada yada yada. So, but yeah, I do all the, I try and get myself involved with a lot of the rinks and party promotions here. For every event, for all of the rinks here, any type of promotion or any type of anything involved skating or skate related with all the rinks here in Chicago and anywhere else. So, I basically, create the platform or help boost the platform or morale or anything of that nature. So, that's basically what I do.
Okay.
And
Good deal. So how can the skaters out there connect with you?
Ooh, go ahead. Chief Executive Officer of the management. How can they get in touch with you? Tell them.
They can call you. They can email you. They can go to your website.
Thank you, Jamal. What's the website? Tell them, baby.
So we have batsmokeent.com on the way. I'm currently building the website now. But for the time being, we have google.sites/Batsmoke. So they can go there for now to view his videos, his photos. They can sign up for his newsletter, send him an email or a message or anything to get in contact with him. They can also reach out to him on all social media platforms. He has Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Tell That's right. That's right.
Facebook Messenger,
Mhm,
or they can reach out to me.
mhm.
I'm of course, more than happy to connect people with them. But yeah,
Okay.
Well, I have to
Facebook,
ask hold up. I have
Facebook
to
Josh
ask
Smith.
this question because I
Mm,
just needs to know because
mm,
I seen a picture of you back in 2012,
mm,
2013. Excuse me. You was in Atlanta. And I
mm,
know light skinned brother was on the comeback then, but you had on this lime green shirt with some
mm.
lime green shoes. And I want to know what were you thinking, my brother?
Well, who knows? But you remembered it, so you're welcome.
I love it. Love it.
I said, this brother got on lime green.
Mission
Neon.
accomplished.
hashtag winning.
Yes,
Neon.
yes.
Girl, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was doing. Okay, I said I was transitioning. Now don't go back. And I'm trying to birth from that, trying to get out of my cocoon. Okay?
Oh man.
But I don't know. I have no answers for you.
Okay.
Just and let it marinate because I'll do it again. Don't judge me. I'll do it again. Neon bodysuit, LED lights. We can do. I can do that, right? See, see. I'm gonna get. Yeah, right. So now I'm gonna get a neon bodysuit just because you said it.
Oh, see, I've made his way in the video. There he is back
Neon
there.
bodysuit. But
With his cape
Josh
on.
Smith, Josh Smith on Facebook, Josh underscore Batsmoke on Instagram.
Mhm.
Um, if you need something, holla at me. Most of y'all got my number anyway. So, I'm one of them guys where you can call me, you can text me. If you see me at an event, you better come say something to me or I'm gonna come say something to you.
He sure will.
You know,
Sounds
He
good.
has
Sounds
no
good.
fear. He goes up to people all the time that
right.
he does not know,
I
and
need
they will never forget him. Even when we're out, we'll go to places like Dunkin' Donuts, and we'll go in, almost every day. If I go in there by myself and he's not with me, they're like, "Where's your husband?"
It's like I do move by myself sometimes.
Right.
Wow.
yeah. So it's definitely man, awesome, awesome, awesome. And it's a good thing to be memorable.
Hmm.
It's a
Yes.
good thing to leave long lasting memories and fun, especially pleasant ones. Because
Hmm.
some people don't like to see you coming.
Yeah.
That is true.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be that guy.
Mhm. That is true. That
I
is
don't
true.
want to be the guy where they don't like to see you coming.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's definitely a awesome feeling when you look at people when they smile, or you enter a room and then they smile and they're glad to see you there.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good, and that lets me know that whatever it is that I'm doing is working.
That's right.
And now that we have the new school coming in, the youth, the Maliks,
Yeah.
the Bobbies, and all that,
Yeah.
it's my job now to give them whatever knowledge that they want to know. I'm not going to go over there and be like, here, take everything that I know.
Right.
When they're ready, whenever they want to know something, they can always ask, and we'll be willing to pass on whatever information that we want, or that they want, or that they desire. So, big shout out to Jeremy, Breeze. Big shout out to Jamal. Big shout out to Natasha, Calvin, Deuce, all the rinks. Curtis and Ramona for picking up ownership of the rinks. Spank out there at Glenwood, Linwood, all the rinks. Shout out to Buddy Love. You know, man, there's so many names I can name. Ice for being a mentor. Jeremy,
Yeah.
Breeze.
Yeah.
All you guys. Maisha, Elon. I love you guys. So everybody knows what my circle is, but even my up north fam.
Mhm.
Everybody everywhere.
Wow.
Wow. So
Well,
I didn't you didn't see any of this would happen without some of those names that I mentioned. Ari,
oh yeah.
some of these names that I mentioned.
Mhm.
Nobody made it anywhere by themselves. Shout out to the WAF.
Yes. Hey.
Hey, good job. Good job.
Well, we
Shout out to the
truly
WAF who made
appreciate you
spaghetti.
guys for
Yeah.
sharing this time with us and just giving the skaters insight into your life.
Mhm.
We can love that you will continue to teach and encourage and
Yeah.
uplift other skaters and others outside of the rink. and we truly thank you for being here with
Most
us.
definitely, most
Awesome.
definitely.
Hold on.
Thank you for having us.
One more
Yeah.
plug.
Yes,
Remember, Maisha's live is tonight.
it
We were
is.
actually just gonna talk
Yes,
about that. Yep.
Live is tonight.
it is.
Tune in because it's going down. My sis know what she's talking about.
Oh
Okay?
yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Talking about.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, we greatly appreciate you guys. Your time. You guys have been a blast. We'll definitely have you guys back on again for an update.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so just hold the line for me real quick, and
Mm.
we're
Okay.
gonna talk to our guest here who's actually listening right now. So one second.
Okay.